Hello everyone. Welcome back to our tutorial. Today, we will continue from where we left off last time. We'll be adding materials to the candle and glass, and we'll also set up the light for the candle wick. Let's start.
Let's start shading for our model. Blender has a couple of preset workflows to make our life easy for the specific type of work. Select Shading to apply materials to our model. In this view, you can see a default HDR background is already set to properly lit any model. This panel helps us organize the nodes for our material. You can create new material from here, or you can go to the Material tab and press the plus sign to create a new material. Let's create material using the button from our node graph. Immediately you can see the node created in the same material is visible in the Material tab too. Let's rename our material. You can change the base color and see the result interactively. Undo the changes. Go to the Edit menu and select Preferences. Select Add-ons and search for Node Wrangler. Make sure to click the checkbox to activate Node Wrangler. You can see mine is already ticked. In the Material node graph, you can see a wire connecting principled BSDF to the material output node. Since our object should have a glass material, let's disconnect the wire by simply clicking on the wire and dragging the wire. You can see our object turned into black. This is because nothing is connected with the material output node. Press Shift and a key to open the Node Creation pop-up menu. You may have noticed that this shortcut is also used for object creation. Anyway, click on the search menu and start typing Glass BSDF, and press the Enter key. Glass BSDF is very useful to make glass material quickly. Connect the green BSDF dot with the surface green dot. Immediately you can see the result in the viewport. We need to fix our render settings. Click the camera icon, which is actually our render properties. Select Cycles as render engine. If you press and hold the middle mouse button and drag this bar, you will notice these four icons. The first one is the wireframe render. The second one is for solid rendering. The third one is for material rendering. It is also used for EV rendering. The fourth one is for cycles rendering, which we already set as our render engine. So we should activate cycles rendering for the viewport too, to see the final render of our material. Now you can see that our object seems like glass. The glass material is dark because we don't have any light in the scene. To improve it further, we need to add an HDRI background to light the object from all the possible sides. Before adding the HDRI first, we need to fix some settings. Let's start with the render setting. Render engine should be cycles, feature set should be supported, and device should be GPU compute. Now go to the Edit menu, choose Preferences, and select System. Under the CUDA tab, check both CPU and GPU. Under the Optics tab, check both CPU and GPU too. Close the Preferences dialog box. Under the Sampling, there is the Viewport setting. The quality of the image rendered in the viewport depends on these settings. Set the render setting is exactly like mine. Increasing max samples will give you a sharper image, but it will take more time to render the preview. Don't forget to activate the denoise setting. Next, set your render settings exactly like mine too with the denoise settings. We are ready to add HDRI. For that, we need another add-on called BlenderKit. Simply download from the BlenderKit website. Open Blender Preferences, and go to Add-ons. Press Install and select the downloaded file. Now in your left window, you might have a file browser like this. Click here and change the view to 3D viewport. You can select Material Preview or Solid Preview for this viewport. Press the N key to unfold the right sidebar. Open the BlenderKit tab. Click the HDR button. Here you can see BlenderKit asking us to select HDR. Click one of the images and then select 4096 resolution for better lighting quality, then press OK. Immediately you can notice that our glass is looking realistic now because the BlenderKit downloaded that image we selected and set the HDR image to light our scene. Here you might be noticing some glitches. This is because there is no gap between our candle and glass model. We will fix that in a moment. Select the glass model and press the / key to isolate the glass model only. You might be thinking about how the HDR image lights the scene. In the material graph, change the shader type from object to world. This is where all the world's shader lives. Change the shader type to object again. Let's focus on improving our glass material. Press the Shift plus a key, then search for Volume Absorption. Connect the volume output to volume input. Change the color and you can see our glass now has tinted glass properties. Adjust density to set how much tinted glass you like. So far we haven't talked about model scale and measurement. While rendering any object, maintaining real-world measurement is crucial. Because the software we use nowadays is made to simulate real-world properties. Blender also has physically accurate material nodes to create material for 3D objects. In your left window, press the N key to fold the right sidebar. Then press the T key to unfold the left side toolbar. Press the 1 key to activate the side view. You can see a tool called Measure. Select it and create a straight line. Here I can see my model is 19 feet tall, which is just insane. Because of this scale, material properties will behave unusually because Blender thought we wanted to create a glass mode that is 19 feet tall. If you go to the Unit tab, you can see my unit setting. Here you can see the length unit is selected as feet. Let's select all the objects and press the S key to scale. Press 1 key to activate the side view. Then press the G and Z keys to move the model Z-axis. Measure the height again. Now I think the scale is fine. Press the N key now to unfold the right sidebar. Select the Item tab. Notice the scale value is really low. This is because we scaled a 19 feet tall object. If we don't normalize this value, the material nodes will work, but we have to increase the setting in a way which is not physically accurate. To normalize the scale value, press the Ctrl plus a key. Select Scale and notice that our scale value is fixed. Repeat the steps for all the objects that we scaled. Or select all the objects and press Ctrl plus A, then select All Transform. All transforms will normalize location, rotation, and scale at once. Now we can safely adjust color and density for volume absorption. In the Glass BSDF node, you can change the roughness value to blur the glass material. I would suggest you play with these settings to understand what these settings do and the relation between them. Now if you can notice that our glass material has some dark spots. This is happening because we need to fix light path settings. I already told you that 3D software mimics our real world. In the real world, the light continues to bounce until it loses energy. In 3D we can set how many times the light should bounce. More bounce can give us clearer and more realistic images, but with the cost of increasing render time. In Blender, we can limit the bounce of light for faster rendering. I would suggest you slowly increase these numbers and check the result in the viewport. Don't get too crazy with the settings, because this might increase your render time at an insane rate. In my experiment, I found that 12 is the safe number. After that, the quality of render is barely visible. Feel free to use BlenderKit and use different HDR to see the result in the viewport. Press / to stop isolation. Since we scale down our object, the 3D cursor is far away from the object. Press the down arrow of the viewport overlays to unfold the options. Activate the floor from the viewport overlays. Press Shift plus S to open the pie menu and select the cursor to the world origin. This will change the 3D cursor position to the center of the world origin. Select one object and press the dot key from the keyboard. This will focus the object so that you don't have to manually zoom the object. This is a very handy shortcut. Now we will fix the glitching candle. This type of glitch happens when two surfaces stay in the exact same position. So fixing this type of problem is very easy. Just select the candle model. Press the S key to activate operation and immediately press and hold the Shift key so that the rate of scale will be slower. The height of the candle seems to be quite large, so let's select the candle. Press the Alt plus Z key to activate X-ray mode, then press the Tab key to activate edit mode. Select the top half of the model and press the G and Z keys to decrease the height. Deactivate X-ray mode. This time create material using this button. Change the name of the material. Select the base color as you like. Also, increase the subsurface number from 0 to 1. Subsurface simulates semi-translucent objects in which light rays enter, bounce around, then exit in a different place. This gives a very organic looks to the object. For a better understanding of what subsurface setting does to our model, let's add one light to the scene. Using the G and Z keys, move the light where the candle fire should be. We will use this light to mimic the firelight later. Play with light properties to have a better understanding of what these settings do. Now increase the subsurface setting and check the result. The upper part of the candle now has a higher intensity of subsurface properties than the lower part of the candle. Also, the material turned white because of the subsurface color. So change the subsurface color and check out the result. Increase or decrease the subsurface amount to have a good harmony of subsurface material properties. Also change the light power too, to check out the effect on subsurface material. If the reflection of light is disturbing you, uncheck the multiple importance setting. Select the candle wick and candle object and isolate them using the / key. The pivot point of the wick is not in the correct position. Let's fix it. Isolate only the wick using the / key. Press the Tab key to activate edit mode. If you ever face this type of problem of culling objects while trying to zoom in, press the N key to unfold the right sidebar, go to View Settings, and decrease the clip start value. Press the N key again to fold the right sidebar. Now select the bottom vertex, press the Shift+S key, and select Cursor to Selected. This will bring the 3D cursor to the selected vertex. Press Tab to active Object Mode, go to Object menu, select Set Origin, then select Origin to 3D Cursor. This will set the object origin to the 3D cursor.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching.